Alright, I want to shoot a quick video. I should have done a before, during, and after video, but you know, sometimes you get caught up doing stuff and you just don't think about it. This is my attic. I know a lot of people won't show you their attic because that's where they keep all their junk. But I've been bringing boards up here. These are regular ply boards that I've cut. I had to cut them in half to get them inside my attic. My attic's got a door that goes to a bonus room. Then I got this weird turn to get stuff up this way. It did not have any flooring up here when I started, and I've been buying ply boards, 4x8 ply boards, and then cutting them in half lengthwise and then sitting them up here. I didn't secure them. I just sat them on top of the joists. That way, while we're up here storing stuff, we won't fall through. Well, as I've moved space further, because it was just originally that space there and then one piece of plyboard here, I needed to have more lights. I didn't have any lights going that way, but my wife asked me to add one, and I didn't know anything about electricity. So one of the times Dad came and visited me during Thanksgiving, I guess it was about 2 years ago, he helped me run lights down there, and he kind of showed me a how-to and talked about electricity and, you know, how to be safe and how to wire it, and so we did that. He also helped me wire this closet just right behind this wall. But anyway, so I needed more light, and this was already here, but it didn't really show into anything. I mean, like your level of light kind of stopped about right past that plyboard, so all this was dark. And for the past year, I've used a shop light that I plugged in and ran an extension cord out this way and had it hooked to that beam right there. I just had it hooked to it. So I decided I would actually wire something because, you know, my honey baby, she tries hard to keep everything organized and nice and neat, and she's like, would you please wire me something? So this is what I come up with. I bought these little light receptacle things from the hardware store. They weren't but like $2.30 a piece. And I got me some wire, about 50 foot of wire. It was about 30 bucks. The light bulbs I had. And all I did was I just hooked them. I wired it all from here. I started at the light itself. I hooked one light up to the end of the wire. And I thought, okay, how do I want to do this? I want to be able to light this room. And I picked this central, you know, beam as kind of a location because that way it adds light and you can see all around. She wants me to build her a little something over here to store stuff, and I can do that now, especially now that I can see. But anyway, so I figured this central spot would be good. So I was just holding them up, kind of seeing where I wanted them. And I thought, well, that'd be good if I could get them like on either side of this here beam. So that's what I did. I wired one, and I did a little bit of wire out, and I thought, well, I'll just put one on the other side. I only need about that much wire. I cut it, put the negative to the negative, the positive to the positive, and then started me a new section of wire and just dropped the thing on the floor. Well, then I just secured this wire as it went down. I did it up underneath some stuff here, all up underneath the wood, and come up this side. And I thought, okay, I need to somehow connect it over here to one of these wires. So when I flip that switch, this magically comes on. Well, I thought about running the wire up this way and undoing that box and hooking it in there, and I thought, well, that's awful high up there and I'm short and I'd have to get a ladder, and what if I just cut this wire right here and spliced it into it? And I thought, yeah, I could do that. So thinking safety, because you always got to think safety, I thought, alright, well, if I cut that wire, I might get shocked, so I need to cut the power off. So I used a flashlight to cut the power off, and I cut that wire. And I spliced back in, so that way when I cut the light back on, they wouldn't be shocking each other. Okay? You like my sound effect? So anyway, after I cut that gray wire right there, I got my yellow wire sitting here, and I thought, okay, well now I need to figure out how to hook this in here. So I just spliced one in, Hooked the white up, the positive to the positive, the negative to the negative, and boom, my lights came on. And I thought, all right, now all I gotta do is hook this one on. So when I went to stretch it across, I thought, well, crap. That was the length that went from there to there. So I decided to add an extension. I cut me a little piece of wire about 6 inches long or so, 8 inches long, spliced both ends, spliced that one into there, spliced that one into there. Use these nice handy safety twisty tie doohickeys to twist them in place, and voila, we have lights. Now I know y'all are watching this and thinking, well, that was dumb and probably pretty dangerous. Well, no, not really. I mean, it's electricity, yes. You want to be careful around electricity, but, it's only 120 volts. It's just going to shock you. You'll be like, ow, you'll let go. But, I mean, what's the most damage you can do? Just pay attention to your positive and your negatives as you're going. Keep them in line. Don't cross them up, and you'll be good to go. Obviously, if you don't feel comfortable messing with it, don't. Get an electrician. Get somebody who does know how to mess with it. I didn't feel comfortable messing with it the first time I did it, and until my dad helped me. And this is actually the first electricity extension project I've done on my own, and I'm pretty darn happy with it. I'll secure this out of the way a little more so that nobody, accidentally bumps into it or anything. But it's kind of out of the way. I mean, I'm eventually, when our oldest boy moves out of here, I'm eventually going to make a door right here so we can get in his attic a lot easier than having to climb through this little duck down passageway thing. And that may be something I talk to Dad about when he comes, about, what do you think about next time you come, we do this? Because by then, he should be off to college, and we don't have all them clothes in that closet, and that would be a doable thing. So anyway, like I said, I did the whole darn project, and then I got done, and I came out, showed my wife, she was all excited, and I said, well, dog, I didn't even film any of that. So now you know. Hope that helps you, or is funny, or informative, or something. Y'all have a great day.